And the last presentation today is by our official representative from the United States, Nima Farshid, who will be talking about science of illumination, sound, vibration, and light. Well, it's very early morning in his place. So again, he has sent a pre-recorded video, especially for us, so that he will be on time. So let's give the word to Nima.
Hello, namaste. Nima Farshid here, founder at Gaia Healers and Lightworkers app. I feel blessed and privileged to be here with you guys today as a part of the panel on the BioWorld Congress to share some insights and some interesting events that are coming up. And I would love to take this opportunity to share what's been going on with me and what's coming up very soon for all of us BioWorld practitioners. So what I'm talking about today is the science of illumination. And this science has been brought to me by paying attention to my biofield and energy body. And this resonates back to about 10 years ago when I originally met Dr. Konstantin Korotkov in Russia and started my education on the BioWell. So we'll go in details about the science of illumination and how light, sound, and vibration has an influence on our connection and correlation to source and to holiness. And also, I would like to take this chance to introduce to you, all of you beautiful BioWorld practitioners and amazing souls, about our upcoming Congress that is from November 11th or November 10th to 12th of 2023. And in this Congress, we have gathered the masterminds of BioWell and biophotonics. And we have invited some of the top founders of very successful, powerful companies in the holistic field to come and share their knowledge and education with all of us, so we can all take advantage of this knowledge and we can all empower ourselves and empower our knowledge to the same level. So before I get to the Congress, I'm going to start my conversation about the science of illumination and how I actually led to this science and why I'm talking to you about it today. So when I met Dr. Korotkov in Russia, initially the reason was because I was going through some health issues and I was experiencing palpitations, and I was looking for an answer. I wanted to understand how I could heal myself without taking invasive measures and going through the rough times. So in one of my trips into Russia, actually it was the BioWorld Congress that I attended in Russia. And during my conversations, I learned a lot about all the different practitioners and all the different researchers and scientists that had come together in such a beautiful, amazing way to share everything, to share their knowledge, their foundings, their research with everybody that was there without limitation. And this really gave me a chance to expand my horizons and understand the science of light and frequency from different points of view. And as I went back to the States and I started working with BioWorld for myself, through my education and through my researches that I was doing about learning how to meditate, how to work with different natural elements like sound, light, vibration, in order to bring these natural frequencies and these natural healings to myself. So during this process, what I realized was the biggest influence in my life and the biggest change that happened to me was the information that I was getting from the BioWell. Because what it was doing, it was giving me insights into my spirituality. Not only how energy is passing through my system and where I have blockages or where I have overactivity, but it gave me insight into what emotions that were not residing with the wholeness that resides within me. And this became a very powerful practice for me, because the more I looked at my energy centers and the more I looked at their alignments and their variations of movements, the more I realized that I'm dealing with some emotions, that these emotions are of lower frequency. And in order to heal myself, I was given this understanding that I need to bring myself into the highest potential, into highest energy body, or as we call the biofield, as possible. And by doing practices like, yoga, meditation, sound healing, all these different elements, that was great, and they were influencing me in a very, very powerful way. But first of all, when I was doing such practices like yoga, there weren't really educators that were really educated in the true art and science of yoga. Because yoga, in a lot of ways, in a lot of different places, the way that is practiced is just practiced as a practice of like stretching our body and as a kind of like a physical exercise. While in reality, the true science of yoga is connecting our spiritual body with our physical body in combination with our mental body. So it's a three-dimensional practice that in a lot of places we're not really taking advantage of that. So we'll get back to this in a little bit later when we talk about the Congress and how we can take advantage of powerful systems that are available to us today through our network. So getting back to the conversation, the more and more I started working on my energy centers, and the more and more I started to go through meditations, go deep within, and understand the feelings that the way that I was looking at the world that was not in resonance with unity, that was not in resonance with the fourth dimension. So the more and more I started work on and releasing these negative emotions and negative, conditions that I had taken away from my life and from my upbringing, the more and more I realized that I'm becoming lighter and lighter. And this became so powerful that this became addictive for me. That every morning I wanted to get up at 6:30 in the morning with the sunrise, drive to a park to sit there and to meditate with the sunrise, because the feeling that I got was not comparable to any feeling that you can experience in this world. And I literally experienced light. I literally experienced my body getting to a place that I became more than a physical body. At times, I would even lose my way back into my physical body, and I would be lost in this spiritual journey of connecting with the nature, connecting with the energies around us that have put together the energy to create us. And I got to get in touch with that. And that was the most powerful part of my healing journey, is to recognize and realize that we have this wholeness within us. And the more and more that we get away from this wholeness, then the more and more we get away from health and wellness. So this became very powerful for me. And the more I realized that I'm going through this path, and the more and more I'm letting go of negative associations, negative friends, and things that were just not in the highest vibration. And the more and more I associated myself with higher vibration thoughts, higher vibration learnings, higher vibration associations, then my reality completely shifted. So it got to a point that I would have spiritual masters around me and guiding me and directing me to do specific tasks. So I would get downloaded information in order to work on specific situations. And this became such powerful insight that I'm shaking just talking about it right now, that this was so profound for me. And in one of my sessions that I was meeting with one of my practitioners in BioWell, she started talking to me about specific experiences about an ancient philosopher that lived in the 12th century. So when we were having this beautiful conversation, she told me that she's studying ancient philosophy, and the Persian philosophy was one of her fields of specialty. So after having this conversation, I was telling her that I had experienced specific situations of my interaction with light. And one of my experiences was when I was doing a session with a person that I was working on numerology. So I believe that the universe speaks to us through numbers and through digits, because that's the universal language. So in one of my sessions that I was meeting with a family, and few of the family members weren't really resonating with my conversation and the information that I was giving them about their life path and about their the true reason for being here, because we can calculate all that through numerology. So as I was going through this session with this person, one of the family members that was very negative, she asked for a pen from me to write something down. And once I went to pass this pen to her, as soon as she came to grab the pen, there was this huge spark of light that threw her into her seat, and her family and everybody started to look around the room, and we just never understood what happened there. So that was my first experience with something that I saw, this amazing spark of light that I cannot explain it, but it just disappeared. So I told my practitioner about this experience. And a different experience that I had was through my meditations, that I was meditating with the sunrise. And once I was looking into the sunrise with my eyes closed, I started to see ancient scripts that were written in ink that was like the sunshine. That these scripts were scrolling on the back of my eyes, and I could not make sense of them. But it was a very profound experience. So I communicated this with her, and she told me that what I have told her, she has only read in ancient philosophy of the Persian time, and she told me that there is a philosopher that lived in the 12th century that had experienced very similar experiences to what I had experienced. And she told me the name of this philosopher. And as soon as I heard this person's name, it was like the union of the spiritual energies happening in that specific moment. And I could feel this person right there in the room as she was talking to me about him. And he started communicating with me that I need to start paying attention to his teachings, and that he's here, my guide, to help me guide people in order to get to the path of illumination of their soul. So this became fascinating for me. And for the few days after that, I spent time in meditations and in communications with him. And what I realized was that he was the founder of the School of Illumination in the 12th century. And what was really fascinating is that without even knowing this, that I had started the Lightworkers app, which is the foundation for illuminating the soul. So a lot of work that I've already been doing in this life is the work that Master Sohrawardi was doing this work in the 12th century. But at the time that he was doing this work, it was at a very, very dangerous times. And this was a time of turmoil in the Islamic philosophy, and there was a lot of exchange of information between the Greek philosophy and the Persian philosophy. So Master Sohrawardi was studying the work of Aristotle and Plato, and he was combining their knowledge into the spiritual science of Islam, which is called the Sufism. So he was creating ways that was not really resonating with the government at the time, because at the time that was like in Iraq, Baghdad was the central location for learning, and there was a lot of scientists from all around that would go to Iraq, and they would do their studies there, and that was like the center that anybody that was a philosopher, they would usually go there to do their research and studies. So from there, when he was talking about different ways of influencing the light body in people and making them realize about their true potential of being here, that wasn't really resonating with the conservative Islamic ruling at a time, which we all see that is still happening to this day. So at a time, at a very early age, they put him in jail, and that they executed him, so he couldn't really finish the work that he was doing. So now I'm being communicated that I need to start to continue his work and to bring the work that he had done back to life, so that we can help more and more souls in the science of illumination. So now that we had a little bit of a background introduction on Sohrawardi, I'd like to get a little bit more in details about his work. And if anybody resonates with this mission, I would love for you guys to reach out to me so that we can do this in a collaboration with anybody that's interested in the field. So talking about the science of illumination, discovering divine knowledge and spiritual enlightenment. Sohrawardi, also known as Sheikh al-Ashraq, which is the master of illumination, was a prominent Persian philosopher and a mystic who lived during the 12th century. He played a significant role in the development of Islamic philosophy and mysticism, leaving a lasting impact on subsequent scholars and practitioners. Sohrawardi founded the school of illumination, which was called Hikmat al-Ashraq, which sought to integrate philosophy, mysticism, and a spiritual illumination. His teachings combine elements from various philosophical and mystical traditions, including Neoplatonism, Islamic theory, Sufism, which is the Islamic mysticism. One of the key contributions of Sohrawardi was his emphasis on the symbolism of light as a metaphor for divine knowledge and a spiritual enlightenment. He viewed light as the ultimate source of existence. And through his teachings, he sought to guide seekers towards assessing and embodying this divine light within them. Sohrawardi's cosmological and metaphysical framework offered a unique perspective on the nature of reality. He proposed a hierarchical structure of existence, which encompassed both the physical and the spiritual realms. His teachings highlighted the interconnections of these realms and emphasized the pursuit of deeper understanding of reality behind the material world. The significance of Sohrawardi's teachings lies in his emphasis of direct spiritual experience and illumination. He believed that true understanding and enlightenment could not be attained solely through intellectual study, but required personal transformative experiences of the divine. Sohrawardi advocated for spiritual practices such as meditation, contemplation, and self-discipline as pathways to assessing divine wisdom and illumination. His ideas and teachings have influenced numerous scholars and practitioners in the field of Islamic philosophy and mysticism. His school of illumination paved the way for the integration of philosophical inquiry, spiritual practices, and mystical experiences, offering seekers a comprehensive approach to understanding the nature of existence and attaining spiritual enlightenment. Overall, Sohrawardi's significance in the development of Islamic philosophy and mysticism lies in his unique perspective, emphasis on spiritual illumination, and his synthesis of diverse philosophical and mystical traditions. His teachings continue to inspire and guide individuals on their spiritual journeys, fostering a deeper understanding of the divine and the self. Sohrawardi's school of illumination, also known as Hikmat al-Ashraq, which we already mentioned, represents a significant development in the Islamic philosophy and mysticism. The school of thought, founded by Sohrawardi himself, offers a unique perspective of the nature of reality and pursuit of knowledge, and the attainment of a spiritual enlightenment in various ways. So some of the ways that he explains to us in his teachings, some of the principles and teachings are symbolism of light. So at the heart of his school of illumination lies the symbolism of light. Sohrawardi viewed light as the ultimate source of existence and as a metaphor for divine knowledge and a spiritual illumination. Light represents the luminous wisdom that reveals the hidden truth of the universe and guides seekers towards enlightenment. One of his other principles were cosmology and metaphysics. So he presented a cosmological framework that emphasized the interconnection of the physical and the spiritual realms. He proposed a hierarchical structure of existence comprising various levels of worlds, with the material realm being the lowest and the realm of pure light being the highest. His metaphysical teachings explored the nature of reality and the relationship between the seen and the unseen dimensions of existence. One of his other principles were the direct spiritual experience. He emphasized the importance of direct spiritual experience as a means of attaining true understanding and illumination. He believed that intellectual study alone is not sufficient. And he also talked about the integration of philosophy and mysticism. That in his school, he believed that there's a gap between philosophy and mysticism. And he integrates the elements from Neoplatonism, Islamic technology, and Sufism in order to make sense of something that at the time was not really too clear for a lot of people. And that was one of the major reasons that the government at the time had the issue with him, because that was not in resonance with the controlling teachings of theirs. So he also believed in ethical and moral values. He also believed that our ethics and morals of how we treat each other and the values that we have in life, that how they can actually empower us and they actually helped us in the journey of enlightenment. Another very powerful aspect that he points on is symbolism and allegory. So he believes that through the regular understanding of the sciences, through reading, through looking at different texts, there's a very limited way of understanding the material. But what he believed was that through symbolism and through specific drawings of special situations, that we can bypass logic and the emotional and the psychological understanding of the situations, and we can look deeper into understanding of different highly involved aspects like spirituality through metaphors and through symbolism. So he would paint specific environments that would have a lot of meanings, would have a lot of political, spiritual meanings within them, and his students would study these teachings, because at the time they didn't have freedom of speech. So that's how they could transfer information and knowledge to each other without the spoken word. So these are some of the very, very powerful ways that he was able to influence people, and he had a very large following at the time with his students that would go through these methods, and they would reach their light body. So we call it today achieving the rainbow body, and how the different prophets would achieve their rainbow body, and how once they achieved that, then we could see this luminescence body, that they would have these glow of energy around them. So this is the teaching that we're talking about, of how every single one of us, by paying attention to our emotions, by paying attention to our actions, by paying attention to how we treat each other and our morals, that we have the opportunity of reaching the same heights. And that's what's going to be the focus of this School of Illumination. So if anybody's resonating with this information, which I'm sure there's going to be many of you here, I would love for you to be a part of this movement with me, so that we can make this a global movement. Thank you so much for your attention in this matter. And one of the major ways that Sohrabadi was actually pointing out to was light. He put a lot of focus and attention on light, and how there is so much hidden knowledge just by paying attention and meditating with different frequencies of light. He believed that each frequency of light is a pathway to a hidden universe and to a hidden knowledge, that once we can attain and once we can achieve that frequency, then all of those knowledge and all of those hidden material will get unlocked for us, and we will directly have access to all of that hidden knowledge. So he believed that every frequency of light is a different dimension, and by going into these dimensions and by meditating with the different frequencies, then we can bring a lot of energies into ourselves, and we can get access to a lot of hidden knowledge just by focusing on these colors. So there's a lot of deeper insights into this, of how to practice and how to get there, that we'll cover. This, I'm sure, is going to be the part of the protocol in this School of Illumination. Getting away from the lights, he would talk a lot about also the science of symbolism. So, he would talk about that, how the universe communicates with us in different geometrical patterns, or in different numerical patterns. That's our way of communication with the universal energies and with the unseen realm. So there is a lot of teachings that how, instead of like watching the news or looking at negative information like that, that we have ways to communicate with our nature, with our environment, to be able to be in resonance with the information that's being shared within this realm. So these are all powerful ways that we can live our lives, that completely takes you out of the physical realm and takes you into a whole new amazing world of spiritualism. So I want to take this chance now and take a moment and talk about the Congress that we have prepared a very, very beautiful session for you guys this year. And we have invited some masterminds that have been in the BioWell family for many, many years before even the BioWell device was called a BioWell. And the goal is to bring this knowledge from all of these amazing practitioners and researchers and doctors so that we can all share and we can all bring our knowledge into the same level. That's why we love to do these at least once a year so that everybody can get together, everybody can bring their knowledge and information to the same level. So that way we're all grown as one instead of different people doing different things. Because what you realize is that once you come to the Congress, and this was my experience when I went to the Congress in Russia, that a lot of things that we may think that we have an idea of how to tackle something, or if it's just a new idea in our mind, there's a saying that if you can think of something, there's a chances that somebody else has already done it. So this is exactly why we do this, because all of these researchers have been going through the same thought patterns that you guys have been going through it for the last, couple of years since you've had your BioWell device. But these guys have been doing this for 20, 30, 40 years. So they have thought about all of these in the past. They have methods, they had ways of working around things, they have protocols in place. So that's why it's really powerful for us to tap into their information and not recreate the wheel, because that's going to slow down the whole process. If we can take advantage of each other's knowledge, then that expedites the whole process of ascension. So make sure to tap into this Congress. I'm going to go over and introduce you guys to the different speakers that we have coming on board. So you have an understanding of how much knowledge is going to be in this setting, and we'll love to see you there. So going through the Congress page, of course the event is going to be November 10th to 12th, and this event is going to be a hybrid event. That means that you can even join us on Zoom if it's not feasible for you to want to travel to the States, which I highly, highly recommend for you to be here, because the experience of people that come to these events is completely different than people that watch it on Zoom, because you get to really network, you get to meet so many people, and all of these people will become a part of your team that you can always go back to and do research with, and this is what our experience is from previous events. So the event is on November 10th to 12th, and it's at the Hilton Orlando Hotel. It's a very beautiful hotel that we've selected a very beautiful venue for you so that you can enjoy yourself there. And of course, our first major speaker is Dr. Konstantin Kratkov, the man of the hour. So he will be talking about a very amazing, and I have personally been waiting for this moment for a while now. So we have a very, very big surprise for you. So at the Congress, there is a new, I don't want to tell too much to get get it out of the bag, but there is something new that is going to revolutionize the way you do your BioWell business or your research. So this technology, because it's very limited, and this is, we're going to choose the Congress to launch this, and it's only going to be available to people that attend the Congress, whether you're on Zoom or in person. So that's a limited, I don't want to say too much about it. It's a limited technology or limited information or news that it's only going to be available for a limited period of time, and you want to be a part of the first people that you get that. So I don't go too much more into details about that. Just make sure. And whenever I tell you something like this, you know that there's something good about to come. So Dr. Kratkov is going to talk about new science and technologies that we're always developing, and we're always researching to see how we can make this even better. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about different experiences, different research that Dr. Kratkov has been doing recently. He works with many, many different practitioners, many scientists from all around the world, from different walks of life. So it's always a blessing to be able to sit with him and actually listen to him, whether on Zoom or even in person. That would be a blessing just to be around his energy field, because you guys, anybody that comes there, they fall in love with Dr. Kratkov, because he just has this amazing energy that you can feel the love. It's just resonating in the room. So the next powerful speaker that we have is Beverly Rubik. So any of you guys that have been researching, if you guys are doing your PhD in natural medicine, if you're doing any kind of a high level study, you should know Beverly Rubik. So she is a frontier scientist. She's been with the BioWell for a very, very long time before it even was called the BioWell. And she is a very, very active person. She's a professor that earned her PhD in biophysics in 1979 at the University of California at Berkeley. So as a frontier scientist, she's internationally renowned for exploring biofield sciences and energy medicine. Her main area of focus is research on the subtle energies of living systems, including spiritual healing. She has published over 60 papers and 2 books. Dr. Rubik serves on the editorial board of a journal of alternative and complementary medicine, evidence-based integrative medicine, and integrative medicine insights. She has served on the advisory board for various groups, including the program in integrative medicine under Dr. Andrew Weil. Dr. Rubik was one of the 18 congressionally appointed members of the program advisory board to the Office of Alternative Medicine at the U.S. National Institute of Health from 1992 to 1997, and chaired the NIH panel on electromagnetic medicine and manual healing. This was the precursor organization to National Center for Complementary and Alternative Medicine. Dr. Rubik also founded the Institute of Frontier Science, IFS, in 1996. And she helped many support the founding of the IFS. In 2002, IFS was awarded the NIH Center Grant for Frontier Medicine Research on Biofield Science. So as you can tell, there is a lot of knowledge that she has to share with us, and I just can't wait personally to sit next to her and listen to all of her pearls of wisdom that she's gained over the years. The next person that we have on the lineup is Michael Borkin. Michael Borkin is an amazing researcher that I met him when I went to the Congress in Russia the first time 10 years ago. And he was at the Congress, he was developing some products that were natural products that would influence the energy body in real time. And when I told him about my symptoms, he actually used some of his creams that he was developing at the conference on me. And he told me that that these were going to be really powerful in order into opening up my blockages in my system. So I have used some of his products as well, and they're very powerful. He has a lot of research and science behind his product. And he's known as the father of naturopathic endocrinology. So, I mean, this guy is it. When it comes to naturally working with your hormones, naturally working on ways to balance your system. So, I don't know how much more I can say about Dr. Borkin. So, you want to be there, you want to listen to his teachings. And there's so much I can read about him. We'll go over a little bit of it, but you guys can go to the page and read the entire section on him. So Dr. Borkin is considered the father of natural endocrinology. He was responsible for establishing the Board of Specialty and authored the first national board in endocrinology for the American Naturopathic Medical Certification and Accreditation Board, which was done in Washington, D.C. in 1989. He began development of a transdermal delivery system designed to deliver hormones and nutraceuticals. In 1996, he established Market Resource International to market these transdermal formulas to the medical community. Presently, Dr. Borkin is a director of research of Saber Sciences, the company he co-founded in 1999 with Victor Salerno. Saber Sciences is a leading laboratory for salivary analysis and hormones and electrolytes, as well as manufacture of advanced custom transdermal remedies. So that's what I was mentioning to you guys when I was in Russia and the meeting with him. Those were the products that he was introducing to me. With more than 10,000 patients to date, Saber Sciences' evidence-based approach has proven the efficiency for the use of transdermal hormonal creams for the treatment of hormonal imbalances and dysfunctions related to stress. So that is pretty powerful, because most people that we scan, you always see the shootouts around their head, and that's a sign that their energy that's passing through their maybe their thyroid or throat area is out of balance. So using these products, we can help a lot of people in order to bring their systems back into balance. So he will go a lot more detail about the research that he has done in the field, and there is so much that we can learn from Michael. Another person that is going to be a very powerful speaker at this Congress is Grandmaster David Harris. So Grandmaster David Harris is a Grandmaster of 3 martial arts and Qigong with 25 years of experience. He held the world title in Kumai Open fighting for 2 years and the world title for brick breaking. So I've seen videos of him that he would put up to 10 to 15 bricks, and with one hit, all of these bricks will shatter. So he's a master of Qi. He knows exactly how to work with the Qi in the system, how to accumulate the energy, and then how to exert that energy in the specific patterns. So I love Grandmaster David. He's an amazing, amazing person. He's a powerful healer, and I do research with him. And they have actually created a software that works with the engine of Qigong. And we're using this software. We've done a lot of research with it, and we're getting powerful results for remote sessions. We have created me being a software engineer, I've done a lot of work with their team, and we actually have created a bridge between the data from the BioWall into their system, so that this even gives us capabilities of with the right education and the right systems to be able to use remote systems as well. So definitely you want to be listening to him, and he deals with all different types of issues, and he's a very, very active practitioner. So I'm very looking forward myself to learning about all the different sessions that he has been and what he has to share with us. He's preparing a very special conversation for the Congress. So he took all his learnings from martial arts and all his years of conflicting damage and working on that, and he came to a point of understanding that he doesn't want to hurt people anymore, and he wants to use his knowledge that he has for healing. And ever since, I've met numerous people that have had severe conditions that have gone to him. And with just movement of his hand and the movement of Qi, he's able to do wonders within the system. So I wanted to bring him personally to make sure we all can take advantage of his powerful knowledge. So he will be one of our very awesome speakers, and we're very blessed to have Grandmaster David join us. And the next speaker is, I wanted this event to be very holistic. We wanted to talk about the sciences, and at the same time, I wanted to have a nice, well-rounded picture of different practitioners that have been using this system and are very, very successful. So these are some practitioners that are making 7 figures using BioWall as one of the technologies, and of course, they use other modalities as well. So I wanted to bring some of these practitioners in and have them share their experience with you, so that you can learn how to take your BioWall practice and how to take your research to the next level, so that it can be not just a spiritual abundance for you, but a physical abundance as well, or financial abundance as well. So Dr. Stacy is going to be our next speaker. She's a 7-figure earner that uses different holistic technologies and educates people on Zoom. And that's her full-time job, and she's a very, very powerful entrepreneur. So I wanted her to come and educate different practitioners that are going through the naturopathic sciences of how to take advantage of her research and her life journey, so that she can educate you guys more into bringing more abundance financially to yourself. Next person is going to be Dr. Rajan Narayanan. I have a hard time spelling his last name. He's an amazing, amazing person. I just had a few meetings with their board in the last few days, and they have created 2 nonprofit organizations. So one of their nonprofit organizations is Measured Yoga Therapy, and one of it is the Foundation for Yoga. So what they focus on is they work with different yoga centers, and they have created an amazing system in integrating the ancient yoga knowledge with the current yoga studios. Because as I spoke a little bit earlier today, at the beginning of my conversation, the science of yoga is being misrepresented around the world. And the reason that Dr. Rajan is doing this work is that he wants to bring the spirituality back into yoga. Because yoga is so much more than just laying on a mat and stretching your body. There's a spiritual aspect to yoga. That once we're doing the yoga, we're connecting with our spirit, and we're doing the movements in the right way. Yoga is a medicine, is an energy medicine. That in ancient times, specific movements were used in order to heal people. So now the foundation of Dr. Rajan is focusing on this, of creating practitioners, and I have just started to join their movement because I love what they're doing. And what we're doing in Central Florida now is creating a group of practitioners that can work with yoga studios. So this is going to be an amazing opportunity for anybody that attends a Congress that will be able to join our team and become a part of this measured yoga, and they can tap into that through their centers. And this is going to connect you to many holistic doctors, and these are like doctors out of India that have like the true science of Ayurvedic and yoga. So we're really bringing that the original science back, so that more and more people can take advantage of that. So that's super exciting to have him with us at the conference. And if you guys are in the state of Florida or anywhere else that you work with yoga, you definitely want to be a part of this Congress, because this is going to open a whole new door for your practice in your studio. The next powerful speaker is David Schmidt. David Schmidt is a very powerful entrepreneur. He's operating a multi-billion-dollar company, and he's a founder of LifeWave. Following a long-term career in business and development, the CEO created the company to help customers tap into their own potential for physical revitalization and youthfulness. So David received his formal education in management, information systems, and biology at Pace University in Pleasantville, New York, and before moving on to a long career in anti-aging and regenerative science. So during his career and before he started LifeWave, he worked on numerous innovative designs, such as a new process for creating oxygen and hydrogen, as well as designing and prototype multi-fueled bladeless turbine power generation systems. So in the last Congress that I went, he actually brought a drone on stage, and he was educating people of how they're using a clean technology to fly drones that will clean the air as they're flying. So he's that kind of a person with that kind of a mentality. He's a very out of the box thinker and very powerful entrepreneur. So he's going to share information about how they use BioWell as a device, as a research instrument, in order to do a lot of researchers using their technologies. And many BioWell researchers in the past have worked with their company, and there's a lot of clinical research that I have seen on their website that's related to BioWell. So the next person that this topic is very dear to my heart. I mean, all these topics are dear to my heart, as you guys all know. I'm super excited about every single one of them. The next person is going to be Carol Comiter. So Carol is an amazing soul, and she spent the last 20 years of her research to work with animals. So she's coming to the Congress, and she's sharing her insightful ways and her courses that she has created, in order to educate us of how to not only focus on people, but pay attention to animals too. I mean, they're such pure souls, and I love animals. I love their purity. So that will give us a chance of working with animals using the BioWell data. So we just started this research with her, and she will be at the Congress sharing her findings and educating us of how we can work the system with animals. And there's going to be certification courses that we're going to offer to you, and you can tap into a whole other world of pets by using her knowledge and her research in the last 20 years. So that's going to be very powerful for you. And as you know, people love their pets. So sometimes they care less about their own energy and they care more about their pets. So if you can heal their pets, you can heal them too, because there's science out that animals or pets actually within an environment or within a household, they actually absorb negative energies out of the family because they're such pure souls. And that in turn will cause a lot of physiological issues for them. So now if you know how to heal your pet, then you get to really have this coherent environment for your family and for your beautiful animals. So that's a very interesting topic. Carol began her healing career in massage and energy therapy at the Colorado School of Healing Arts in 1989. So Carol advanced into energy therapy through a Healing Touch program and witnessed the powerful, often dramatic effects of energy therapy through her human clientele. With her combined training and 13 years of experience as a veterinarian technician, Carol recognized the body's physiological response to energy therapy. Carol developed an energy therapy program specific for animals when she discovered how people did not understand the difference of the energy system between humans and animals. Carol's understanding of animals' energetic and instinctual presence inspired her to develop the international program Healing Touch for Animals, which stands for HTA. HTA's curriculum teaches people how to care for their animals using energy therapy. Course content includes basic anatomy, the use of essential oils, sound therapy, and energetic understandings of animals' instincts. Healing Touch for Animals students can become certified and advance their knowledge and understanding through advanced proficiency courses. So Carol's vision is to have a global team of HTA students providing a cooperative model that brings holistic healthcare with traditional veterinarian medicine. To her delight, students are working with veterinarians, trainers, shelters, personal clients, and family pets to include with all species as the awareness of HTA continues to grow. So Carol, they do a lot of attention, they pay a lot of attention on pets, but I've actually seen some cases of wild animals that she has worked with as well. So that's going to be super, super interesting to learn about her methodology and how she's using the science of biophotonics and biofield to help these beautiful creatures. So more and more speakers are getting added to the panel as we speak. There's many other people that we're having conversations with to see if it's going to be a good fit to have at Congress. We have other practitioners that will be speaking about different vibrational frequencies. We have a practitioner from Centropics that will educate you guys on the science of Centropics and the EMF technologies of how we can incorporate that within our practices. So there's going to be many, many amazing researchers there to share their information with you. So make sure that you join our Congress in November in Orlando, Florida. If you can fly in, that'd be amazing. Highly, highly recommend it. Third day is going to be a surprise workshop. I'm not going to tell you all the sound healers and the vibrational healers and the Kundalini yoga masters that are going to be there. I didn't say that, but some surprises are going to be coming your way. So make sure to come in person, and that way you're really going to enjoy it. But if you can't come in person, you're going to really enjoy the information that's being shared. You just won't have that physical touch. So thank you again for your attention. I know this was a little bit of a lengthy conversation, but I appreciate your attention, and I love every single one of you guys for what you do, and I applaud you for the work that you've done in this field. And more and more people are waking up to understand about biophotonics and their biofields, and it is our global collaboration and work together that is that's got this understanding to come to humanity. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for your attention, and I look forward to seeing you guys at the Orlando Congress, November 10th to 12th, 2023. Namaste.
Well, thanks for Nima for his personal story and marketing or explanation about his planned Congress. Well, as long as it is possible to participate online. So, well, as long as you understand English, you're welcome to participate there too, and in online form. Or if you're able to travel to Florida in November, welcome there.